Hey guys, I'm live, Waldo2413, live with another live today, guys. Hopefully some of you guys will make it. Haven't been here in a while, been busy. Working on a bunch of stuff. So hopefully we'll get some more people back on here soon. If not, we'll just ramble on. About a bunch of stuff. Don't really have much to show, but to get some more toys. Thread tensioner. Hopefully everyone's having a great day today. And hopefully, like I said, we can cover. Is everyone, can they hear me loud and clear? Is everything good with everyone? Hope everyone is having a good day. Let me kind of do a test. If everyone can hear me, let me know. Someone type something in the comment. So there we go. Hey. I'm eating dinner, but I'll be listening. What are you eating, Ramon? I got to make you type again. What's up, Jose Lopez? Cartel Prince, how's it going? I was just Applebee's. Man, Ramon, now I think about that song. Who, Mirai or Ramon? Where are you at, Juan Lopez or Jose Lopez? Sorry. Where you got tons of snow. I know we got Ramon the Cholo. Every time I hear that Applebee's, I think of that song, Fancy Like. Oh, yeah, you're up in Boston, aren't you? Yeah, you guys got it cold up there, too. So we were about, I think, 9 today was our low. It's warmed up, though. And then tomorrow we're supposed to be in the 40s. So I can't complain about that. Hey, how's it going, Tim? So what are you working on, Jose? I just saw a video of raining softball-sized snow. Isn't that called hail? Or was the snowflakes that big? Don't forget though, Rye's a little person, so like a snowflake this big to us is like this to Rye. So how's the embroidery machine running? It's running good, Tim. Like I said, I showed Rye. Save her first. How's it going? I went and actually I got a Toa thread tensioner. In that one video, I mean, I did some more stuff, but what it was is I was running into a little thread tension issues, at least I thought anyways. I catch snowflakes and throw them like frisbees. And so my issue was on the thread tension. It wasn't correct. It was running, but I was noticing a little things, like I was getting bird nesting on certain things, and that made a big difference. I still don't use all the things. Most of the stuff I've been running just been 2 or 3 colors, and most of it's just been 1 color stuff. And then I haven't really been running like mass producing anything. So the other head, most of the time I got it turned off. Toa's not the best in the world. Literally, my complaints. Hey, CC. Where did I put that manual? My biggest complaint is their manual. Literally, they don't tell you anything. This is like the best. Hey, what are you working on today? Save Her First and Cisco. Sorry. Like their manual is literally, well, both sides are like that. The blue is English. The green is Rise language. But literally, they do not tell you anything about what your tension should be. It literally just tells you kind of how to use it. One of the things, too, is like when you do an upper thread tension on it. And then, well, that's what I was going to say, too, Tim. When I watch the upper thread tension, there's like 3 different videos from the same place of how to do it. Like some say run the needle through there, or the thread through the needle, pull it through the lower hook, pull it. The other ones say undo it and pull it up near the top. But even then, they had like different settings. Like some said double your lower tension if you're on the upper tension, but when I do that, it's nowhere close. And then I found like 3 times that was more closer. That's a flyer, not a manual. I think the bottom says call Ramon de Cholo for help. Yeah, it does. It really, if you look close, it says Ramon on the back, call, and it's got his number there. And then literally, when you call Ramon, the problem with that though, it says literally, his phone says hot stuff when you call. Not kidding. Or when he calls you, he's got it set up where like when you do like the telephone stuff. So when his pops up, it says hot stuff on the phone, which is hilarious. But so if you guys get a phone call from Hot Stuff, it's Ramon. Cisco says oral. And then I for fun, I have thread with the machine, but have some sitting here. I ordered some other colors. I got some other stuff. And then I bought some cool looking scissors. No lie, I paid extra for that. Yeah, that was not a lie on his phone. And then Rye says it's like his phone literally when it calls, that's what it says. Not making that up. I thought it was funny the first time that he called me because it popped up and I about died laughing on that. But yeah, like, I mean, the meter works good. I think there are things that Rye says, I got mine for free. He probably did. Rye went to the show and he was like, now you see it, now you don't. No. Or he's talking about his phone. Because we seen you with them samples, Rye. You're like, and then, like I said, I got the poly thread book, which was what's funny. This is 2020. So it's like literally, I mean, I knew they wouldn't have today. I was actually looking for one at the show. Now did what is it called? The hoop thing, Mighty Hoop. Was Mighty Hoop at the show, Rye and Ramon? If you guys haven't check out some of the new videos. We've been doing a lot of direct-to-film printing on the live videos, answering your questions. We did stuff like this, where this is a distressed print. So you don't feel it at all, really. These are all little micro, made it look like it was an old weathered print. Did that and did some other things. And then we printed a bunch for the Bowling Green Strong stuff that we had going on. I didn't see them. Yeah, I was going to say, like, the shows when I used to go, they would show up, but I haven't seen them too much either. But I haven't gone to shows in a while. The last one was, it's been a while. But it was one of my... 'Yeah, this one was from 2015. Nashville, ISS gear. That was one of the last ones I went to. And like I said, in Nashville we had that, and then we also had a can't think what it was. It was a sewing show also. Embroidery something. And it was like a month later or whatever. They had that there also. So their stuff was really big on that. But the show wasn't, the ISS wasn't big at all, though. It was kind of a disappointment, the one in Nashville. They haven't had it there since. They had it 2 years in a row there back then. And then like literally they kind of got out of there, I guess. They found better things to do. So on the upper thread, Tim, how are you doing the upper thread? Are you running it through the needle, or are you tensioning it without it? Just broke my rubber band. Rise says Mighty Hoop backed out, which I figured they did. I hope everyone is having a good day. Hey guys, one of the other things, I know people are looking for sub A paper or sublimation paper. I'll have a link probably posted tomorrow. Let me see if I can pull. If you go to, let me see where it is again. What it is there's 15% off if anyone. Master Graphics. Rubbers are bad if they break 9 months later. Funny, Master Graphics. Let me see where this was at. I just had it up here. Okay. So if you go to, it's like Koala AGP. I'll type it in here. I think it's the right one. I could be wrong. How's it going, Master Graphics? KOALAGP. com. If you guys go there, actually, let me do it this way. Let me get the official. I got a better one for you guys. Still searching for DFF systems. If you guys use this link, it's the same link. The other one was just a short one. But if you use the word pickles, Pickles, they will give you 15% off, guys, at Sub A Paper, anything they have there. They got a bunch of different papers. Do you have to try this paper from Blanks Galore? I've tried it way back in the day. On my big printer, I use roll paper. My smaller one, I've used Sub A paper, and I've used Text T paper. All works the same. Sub A, though, I know a lot of people like it, and Sub A sent me a link to give you guys 15% off anything in their store. Anything you purchase, you get 15% off. If you go to their link, it says 10%, but if you use the word pickles, you get 15%. So that's if anyone needs sublimation paper. And like I said, they got other stuff on there too. They got their Sub A paper. They've got koala paper. They've got transfer paper, inkjet paper. They got a bunch of other papers on that site. So if you go there, guys, hit them up and use my link, and you guys will get 15% off on that. So I hope it helps anyone that needs some sublimation paper. They also just came out with some new inks. And check the inks out too, guys, because they're kind of pretty competitive on pricing. And they make some good products. So still searching for DTF system. Which one are you thinking of, Master Graphics? Are you thinking of going UV or not UV, but with the neon still? Are you thinking to go? Because see, the big thing to me is the definitely I would go with one, at least a double head. If you're wanting to do, the big question is how many prints are you trying to print, Master Graphics? Because that's kind of the baseline to figure out what printer you're going to need or what size. Because the more you spend, the more speed you're going to get, but sometimes you don't need all that speed. And there are things you can do in the systems also that you can do to speed them up on some of the other printers also. Like, for instance, I'm running a 2-head system. Price is great on the NU Sun system, neon. Okay. Now, what was the price on that? They're running i3200s on that. 26 delivery and training. That's almost 11,000 more than I paid. Which is not bad considering that they're giving you the training and all that. Mine, I ended up paying right around 15 something out the door, shipped to me. That's with my shaker and everything. My printer itself Let me see if I can pull it up and see. Mine was something UV. Beard Box Designs. How's it going, man? You got this. Yeah, it's I'm trying to think what it was called. It's something UV. Oh, Top UV. They make they're a big Chinese company and they make a lot of the systems over there. And let me see if I can get. Let me see if I can get it to download on my phone here. So I can give you the official, which the price has changed since then. Yeah, that's the wrong one. Let me try another one. The crazy thing, I think it's this one. I'm thinking of replacing my 6.6 screen printing operation. So if you're needing to do that, you're going to need the speed. So you're going to need at least a 2 or 3 head. And what I'll say, like mine in the video you seen the other day where it was printing, that was doing right around 30-something 13 by 19 prints, which of course, as you know, if you're not doing full 13 by 19, which most people aren't, most people are doing smaller sizes and all that. Like this isn't a 13 by 19, so I could have done almost 2 of these for that size. If you're doing something, yeah, here we go. I got my printer and all that on here. So I can kind of show you guys some of the costs and all that. But my printer alone, let me see if it's got the update. This one doesn't. So the printer was $5,800, just the printer. Now I upgraded to i3200 heads, which is another 1,000 something to do the i3200s. Hey, George Lopez, how's it going? Check out that disco light. Why are you not wearing a white John Travolta leisure suit? Should I get the staying alive going, George? I can put them in disc. I don't have the remote for that one here. I was gonna say I can put it in a disco mode though. It's kind of trippy. It kind of will give you a seizure if I'm the one mode. We're averaging 48 pieces in order or less, 3 colors. So on that, tried air freshener, air frying some chicken, hence tried. Well, the thing with chicken, honestly, you can't really ruin chicken. You can just make it dry. I love my air fryer. I love grease. Peanut oil. You can't go wrong cooking chicken in peanut oil. I'm just saying. But what I ended up getting is the other thing too is the amount of ink I bought. I bought 20 liters of each color of ink, which runs your bill up pretty high. And then the roll paper, there's 20 rolls of paper on here, 100 meters on a roll, or 100 meters long. So each one is 300 feet long times 20. So I'm talking like 6,000 feet of paper I've got. Deep fry prime rib is amazing. I will have to try that. But what I was going to say too, on my printer, on that video, you seen it going that speed. There's a thing you can do with them, and it's all in the software, and I'm running RIP 6. But what you can do is, like on the video, if you see it goes about 6 inches, which is, it's actually 100 passes that you've seen. does 100 passes, and then it does a deep head clean. You can change the deep head clean to a mild head clean on it, which will speed it up. You can change it to like an even slower one, or you can just change it to flush the heads and not really clean them. It just mist them out to keep the capping station wet. The other thing you can do, which I've done a bunch, is instead of doing that, leave it on the heavy head clean, but you can bump it up to almost 200. I think it's 255 is the set number on it. So you can have it do 255 passes before it does a head clean. So you're 2.5 times faster on there. So where I was running 30-something prints, 30-something prints an hour on that, then you double it to 60-something prints just by doing the head clean like that. By having it clean, you're still doing the cleaning, you're just doing more passes. So you're doing 200-something passes before you do a head clean. So you're running almost a foot at a time before it does even one head clean. So that will act, and then the advantage of that too, you're going to save on ink. If you have it do every 6 inches, I've got a video coming out. I go through tubs of that ink, their liter jars or whatever. They're a liter thing. I go through quite a bit of them because it's flushing all the ink out every time it's doing that. Now the upside with doing that, I've never had a head clog. I've let my machine sit a week to 2 weeks at a time. You should never do that, but I've never had a head clog. The other thing too, I do got auto circulation, so I've got a pump on my white ink, and it literally circulates the ink, so I never have to shake it. But it also circulates it through the head and back in and recirculates it. And then it periodically, instead of cleaning it when it's rested, it keeps it as a wet capping station. So by doing that, you don't really have to worry as much. But when you're running it, it will go through ink. Do they all have their own cleaning and process on the printing? Yeah, and they're all going to be in the back end of the settings. Some of the companies won't even tell you how to mess with it. But like if you're, for instance, if you're using like an Audrey or ever, if you're using RIP 6, which a lot of people do because that's that Chinese software that comes with it. So if you're using RIP 6, it's in the back end on RIP 6. It's in the software itself on how you're going to adjust the cleanings, how you're going to do it. And it's in there. And not everyone's going to tell you how to do that. Jeff, I'll get his last name. He is my rep. Trying to make sure I get his Jeff Yee, Y-E. Jeff Yee. I will have a video and I will have his, he told me I can give you guys the information. So if anyone needs anything, but I'll give you guys his WhatsApp so you guys can contact him and all that. But yeah, he'll be able to help you out more. But he said normally most people don't mess with the settings. I've talked to him quite a bit on different settings, how to speed it up, how to do things, how to do alignments on it. Periodically, you're going to have to readjust the headlining. And when you're running, and then the other thing you can do too, which I run bi-directional printing. So which means I'm printing left, I'm printing right. No matter what, the printer's going to go all the way across. It's going to go the full 24 inches, whether you're having it print on the way back or not. The difference is if you don't run bi-directional, it's going to come back and then it's going to go across, lay the ink, or you can have it do it on the return. It's totally up to you. You got multiple settings, but it's going to print across and then it's going to slow jog back, print across, slow jog back. It's going to take a lot longer. And the other thing too, you're only getting ink on the one stroke. So when you do bi-directional, you're getting ink on the both ways. Bi-directional though is a lot harder to set up because what you have to do is you have to do a bunch of head testing. And then what it is you're more or less telling it what's it printing on the right side, what's it printing on the left side. And then you're adjusting things so that you're pulling it in kind of like setting up a gun or anything. You're bringing the crosshairs till it's running just like you need. Once you hit that point, you're good to go. And then you've got the speed. Because then you're getting prints on both directions. So you're getting more or less on one print travel, you're getting that much more ink down. You're running 2 heads. So your first head is your color. Your second head is your white, 4 channels. Mine's preheated paper, preheated out. That's the other thing. It helps by running the preheats and all that stuff. Everything's different. Audrey's use even a heated ink system as they're doing the droplets. There's a slightly different on that. But they do a lot of things. And then like the Top UV company that I got mine from, they even do flatbed printers. They make a lot of the other stuff in China that people are looking for, like the DTF UV stickers that people are getting that you can put on like bottles and all that stuff. They make all them things, like, so you can do the stickers that go on Ciroc and all that are stick right on. They don't have a sticker on that, but they make all that stuff. And they can get you set up with that too. The back end though, like I said, you can adjust that out. So like if I'm running, and then the other thing too, you can shut the head clean off. So if I know I'm going to run, let's say for 2 to 3 hours straight, I'm going to be right there. What I'll do is periodically let it run for like an hour straight and then turn on the head clean manually so that I'm getting continuous runs back and forth. When you do that, you're pushing upper limits of 90 something sheets per hour. You will run into some issues on that where you're going to need to head clean it when you start running that much. So I wouldn't suggest pushing it that far on it. But you can set it up so you can get it to optimize what you need. And then you can adjust also how many passes. I'm running 6 pass right now. I've ran 8 also. 8 gives you a little bit better detail. If you're doing like black and white only, you can get away with running 4 pass. So you can adjust all them things out. There's a lot of variables that you can set up in the thing. And it's just like a learning curve. Once you know what you want performance-wise, you can get it to come out pretty good. Like I said, all the they're in bags already. All the Bowling Green Strong shirts, if you guys check that artwork out and all that stuff, here's one in a bag. I don't want to take it out because we poly bag them, but all these prints are all printed with that. Same method, same technique. But these are the ones that we printed for the thing. And it works perfect. Like I said, we're doing some super thin lines on here. I mean, you can see the size of my hands and fingers, how thin these are. You can see the label. This is a... Don't want to get it wrong, so... It's a large. So you can kind of get an idea of space and all. This is a Toltex. So if you know a Toltex, you know the sizing. You can see kind of how small you can get the ink. The other thing too, like I said, I don't have that print right here. Actually, let me slide over and grab the other print. I do have one sitting here that I hadn't pressed, so you guys can see. You can do super thin. These are all half tones. You can print them, and this is what the outcome is. It holds, it feels great, no issues whatsoever. So that's some of the other stuff you can do. Did that help answer a lot of the questions, Master Graphics? Let me try to find that thing. I can get you some more ideas. The other thing, too, that will vary on pricing, where people always ask, how much does a print cost? And what varies on your print cost, if you're making them yourself, is a few variables. One is the film. Everyone's got their own price of films. If you're using like a desktop unit, or if you're using a free jet, them are 13 by 19. So you're paying by the sheet. They're, what are they, 75 cents, 50 cents, $1 a sheet, because they're getting them from that, I forget what place. Let me get a check on it. Free jet, direct to film paper. So, and this is from direct to film place. Okay, so 10 sheets are $14 if you only buy 10 of a 13 by 19. It's $1.40 a sheet. So let's do 1,000 of them. 1,000 of them are $549. So the cheapest you're going to get them by buying 1,000 sheets is 54 cents, 54.9. So it's going to be 55 cents a sheet. Is the cheapest you're going to get a 13 by 19 sheet. So if you were at the ISS show and someone said, hey, they're 75 cents or 80 cents for a print, a 13 by 19, that's going to be why. That's just for the film. You have to, yeah, and that's what I was going to say too, Master Graphics. Ink varies also. You have China ink, you have Japan ink, you have Korean ink, you have like DuPont ink, which is used on the direct to garment machines, kind of on the Epson stuff. It's a DuPont style of ink. You have that. That's going to vary the price also. You get a lot of these people online like DTF Warehouse, all these other companies selling their own inks. Majority of them come overseas, or almost all of it's overseas. There are some made here in the States. If you buy ink in the States, it's going to be dramatically higher than ink from overseas. Don't want to go too in-depth on my ink pricing, but got it pretty good. The other thing, too, is I'm buying, and that's what I was going to say, too, I'm buying this stuff by the roll. We're talking pennies per roll what I'm using on it, because, like I said, I'm buying 100 meters at a time, which is 300 feet. Or let me, I can't remember. It's 100. It's 300 feet, I think it is. But either way, it goes a long ways. So that being, and it's 24 inches wide. So I'm getting not quite 2 of a 13 by 19 because that'd be 26 inches. But I'm running a 11.5 by 19. So I'm very close. Aftermarket ink are not the issue. I use aftermarket ink in my Muto. Yeah. And that's the thing too, Master Graphics. Now I will say this. I've tried ink straight from China and I've got other inks. The other inks work better than the China ink. Now my machine is a Chinese company. They can get me any kind of ink. But the ink cost is minimal if you're buying it overseas compared to here. Here, what you're going to pay for a free jet, the same, like literally like a free jet size is like this. What you pay for free jet ink, I'm buying it in the liter buy. So that's another thing. So like that's where like the free jets, you can do like Heart and Hustle does. He does good. He makes good money with them. But your supplies, your ink and all that, you're going to be limited to how low you can do on a price like that. On a free jet, if you're doing a 13 by 19, your output max is going to be between 15 to 20 sheets an hour. And that's stretching. I don't think they can do that even. I think 15 is probably the max. 13 by 19, if you're filling up the whole film, that a free jet could do. So I would definitely go with the bigger size. Like I said, the inks though that I'm using, great price on it. My cost per print, depending roughly how much, because I mean it's calculated. You can do a mass volume of ink, but on average I'm around 15 cents a print on a 13 by 19. That's kind of this time right now. What will happen, it will go up a little bit more on the next order I buy my inks. Shipping costs has gone up almost double to triple. So what I would say too, though, if you're buying product from overseas, buy it in large quantities if you can. And if you're fine doing that, like the paper, as long as you keep it in the sealed bags and all that stuff, and kind of, it's going to be fine. But like I said, I'm getting prints 15 to 20 cents a print. At the show, when I was talking to Rye, a lot of them were saying like 50 to 65 cents a sheet is what on average it was. And like I said, you can get it cheaper. I know I am but like I said, on average, that's kind of the price. So the biggest thing is on that is deciding what machine. You keep mentioning 13 by 19, but isn't that unit price a roll? Yeah, I buy mine by the roll. The reason I always say 13 by 19, because if you're screen printing, in general, when you're using like the Epson 1400s, 1430s. It's a 13 by 19 max print or max film that you're going to do if you're screen printing, because on average you're not going to go wider than 13 inches on a print. I don't have that 13-inch wide print here, but in general, that's Kydex. 13 inches is going to be a max that you would normally screen print in general. That's why I always refer to 13 by 19, because when you're printing, you're never really, you can stretch a 19-inch print. Your unit price on a roll, are you able to just run sheets also? Yeah, what I do when I do the pricing master graphics is, like, for instance, I run witness lines on the side. It runs and makes sure your inks are clearing out every time, so it's focusing on me, not the print. So I run them so that, for one, I know the ink's coming out clear. You can go without it, but you're never going to print off the edge. You don't want to do that. You've got hold downs on it just like you would on your Muto. Like any large format printer, you got the hold down. It's got a vacuum fixture underneath, or vacuum table, so it's pulling a vacuum as it's rolling through, so you don't have to worry about it bouncing much. But you do that so the ink's coming out, you're getting it. Because if you weren't running some of these colors, you could have a head issues and all that, and it's easier to see it's running fine. So that being said, you're never going to run the full width. But what I do a lot of times, when we get orders for people, is we'll kind of draw, let's say, for instance, we do an 8.5 by 11 size for people. So what we'll do is draw a little blank on the screen, and I'm going to run that 8.5 by 11, but I'm going to run 3 of them across on my paper. I'm going to have some of that witness on the side. We're going to trim them off after. I'm not running it as a single sheet though. So my unit price, so when I cut it, you are going to have some cut marks. But an example, something like this, and these, we're running other stuff on there, so bear with me on that. They weren't cut perfect, but that's kind of what it will do. When we're running a print, we're going to run it the size that you want, for instance, but that might be an 8.5 by 11. I think these were 10 by 8s. Let me check. I got a tape measure here. These are 10 by 10. So this was a 10 by 10 print right here. So technically, normally I set mine up to go with 20 inches, and I leave the 4 inches because I got the witness and all that. On my program, I'm running 22 inches. But so literally we ran 2 of these side by side. So when someone, let's say, orders it, we just print them out, let it run through, put the powder and all that on it, and then we literally just cut them up. Do you run a pallet check before we reorder? Normally, a lot of people, let me grab another print here for you. And then the other thing too is, for instance, when people do gang sheets, when we printed, like I said, we printed the stuff for the Bowling Green Strong stuff. Is my design and all that. We gave all the money to the tornado victims here. But so literally what we did is, on this print, I can tell you right now, we ran them sideways because I could fit more on there. And then we ran, I ran other stuff down the side. I don't have nothing small laying around here, but I ran some small stuff down the side because fill it up, and I was using it. Let me grab one of these other prints here. Got a bunch of just random other stuff here. All these other prints here. So what I ended up doing, for instance, I've got another line. So we ran a bunch of these back and sleeve prints. And what we did on some of these is we ganged them. You can see the cut right there, how I cut it. And these are some ones that I had laying on the table. Moisture issues on these. These were just some other ones, but you can see where we cut it. So you can gang it and get more. I think we got almost 4 of these across on that print. This one, I can't remember which way we ran it. We ran it also. But So normally what I do is I just run them like whatever the customer orders, we make sure it's that size. And what we do is we kind of, since you're paying for that size only, like if you're paying for like an 8.5 by 11, we're going to use the other part of the paper for something, or we're going to put someone else's order next to it and cut it up. Now, when people buy it like we do sell it pretty much by it's more than a foot, because we're not going to do a foot. But we do sell it. It's 20 inches wide, in 2 foot increments. So it's 20 by 24 increments. So what we do on that, they can send whatever they want, pile it up. They can have them print as close as they want or as far out as they want. Like this was something, because you got to always remember, you got to be able to get scissors between here if you're cutting them. So they can palletize it however they want and put like whatever they want here. You do got to remember, you can only print so small and transfer so small, because the part, like one of the biggest things that some people overlook is the particle size of the glue. It's got to be able to stick to the back. If a glue is, and this is over exaggerating, if the glue is this size and I'm trying to get it to stick to something this size, you can see the dilemma here. It's going to stick, it's going to hang over the edge. It's not really going to bite into something that small. So, and this is a color witness test that we had here. Another one where we ran some other samples and all that, some color ones, and you can see this isn't even cured. This is just peeling it off the paper. But you can kind of see the stretchability of a print and how thick the inks are. And the other thing too, you like to save ink or get away from ink, I always put white behind it. The glue bonds to white better than it does some of the colors by itself. The other thing too is, if you don't, what you end up happening in a way, you have a slight lip, because what happens, it lays the color down first, then it lays the white over it. So if you lay the color and then you lay, let's say, the white on top, and you didn't put it where let's say the black was, you've got a step there now. So now what happens, it's not bad, but when you press, you've got to fill that gap in. It's not a big thing. You don't really feel it as much, but you can see it and notice it when you're doing pressing over and over. So we just always fill it in, even on the blacks, just because the cost of ink, it's better to get better adhesion and let it bond better. There are different settings when where you can program to, let's say, cotton, polyester, or tri-blend. Yes and no. On the settings, again, I've got a video we did the other day, because Leonardo wanted to see about polyester, and so I did a thing. You can print these in the video. I did a 280 press, so 280 degrees for the 15 seconds. It peels perfectly fine. So if you're worried about dye migration and all that, these do hold up really good against dye migration. If you keep it in there too long, you're going to see, no matter what, you'll see a little image. You're not going to see the big transfer. And I was using, I think it's A4 shirts or whatever. I can't remember what it was, but the video, I'll drop it tomorrow or the next day. But so to prevent that, you can go to lower temps. You can go down 280. I've gone as low as 270. I usually tell people go 280, you're fine. But so on that, oh, here we go. Here's a tri-blend when you're talking about tri-blend. The other thing too, though, and this is in the video too, so you're seeing all the stuff before. This was ran at 320 on a tri-blend. This is a next level. And this is the next level tri-blend tank tops. So, and you can see the color and all that. It's a ladies tank top, tri-blend, rayon, polyester, and cotton. No dye migration whatsoever. You can see how good it held. This was done. Hey, Frankie, how's it going? This was done, like I said, 320, 15 seconds, and then repeat press. Color looks perfectly fine. Yeah, I know about that, Frankie. So yeah, that's how, and like I said, this is a tri-blend. Didn't burn it, didn't scorch it. if you're worried about it, though, what I do a lot of times, like I said, we did that just to show. We ran that at 320. The other one we ran at 280. But on that 280 one in the video, I run one of these little D's on the back at 320. On the front, the image, I ran it at 280. Sorry, I'm reading. Yeah, Frankie. I already know about it, Frank. But yeah, so we ran it that way, and it came out great. But if you're doing other things that you got to worry about, like rain jackets and all that stuff that can melt at higher heats anyways, you can turn this stuff down, and it's going to bond. It's going to stick. I always still, no matter what, tend to do that second press, because if not, it's got a weird texture on the top, and it kind of sets it into the fibers better. But yeah, Master Graphics, normally, like I said, on like the shirts that we did, they are the ones are, that's a 50-50 blend on the one. The other ones are pure cotton. On all that stuff, like a normal t-shirt, if it's got cotton in it, I'm running 320. If it's a pure polyester, I'm going to back it off a little, but I ran them the other day when we were sending some stuff out. I ran them. Yeah, it's your own thought on that, Frankie. Everyone's got their own opinion on it, Frankie. I don't think it's nowhere near 3GO paper feel. You just got some bad transfers, Frankie. Does DTF offer any foil, glitter, or type additives for their ink? Not yet. The company that will be having additives Beard Box will probably be Cobra Ink. That's the printer that I was impressed about. I seen it before the show, the ISS. Rye seen it at the ISS. He kind of covered a little bit. They don't use powder. Theirs is a powderless system. McLeod says there's a powderless. What McLeod's doing, they're buying a pre-treated shirt with the adhesive, like a pre-sprayed shirt that you would do, or they're spraying it themselves. Their one video, they sprayed it themselves, and then they pressed it right after they did that. So they were kind of buying like, I can't think of that company. They make a pre-treated shirt that you can buy. They've been around forever. The guy's got like a Jurassic Park hat that he wears. It's a great guy, but I can't think of his name. But anyways, they make that shirts. But so what I would, and you can do that. I've tried that. It does press. It's not the best way. You need the powder. The powderless printer with Cobra, though, what they do, they've got a third print head. And what they do is, and they've got a few different ones. They got, I think, a double head and a triple head. Yeah, Frankie, that's what I'm talking about. And there's what they do is they put a liquid glue down on top. Super thin, because glue adds thickness to these. Theirs is some of the thinnest prints out there. It's amazing. That machine, I don't have a price on it. I think Rye was telling me it's right around $26,000 for the printer. They also were doing neon with one of theirs also on a live video that I seen. I forget. Mike from NovaWorks sent me a video on it when it first came out. It was a while back. But it was talking with the Cobra people. And that printer is pretty impressive. Yeah, Texas Finest was $28,000. Yeah, so it's up there. The downside with that, though, is what you're going to run into, Master Graphics, if you're looking at that one, where kind of like with your Muto, you can buy aftermarket inks. Theirs is like a package deal. You can use aftermarket inks. They say it doesn't work. Now, their glue, though, is their own glue. And so even on their warranty and all that stuff, they do have a warranty, I think, for a year on theirs. Their glue is like, so if they come out and maintenance it or have an issue with a head clog or something, because the only other issue that in that live video that they did, and it's been 6 months ago, they even talk about it, though. That machine has got to run every day. If you don't, you're going to run into head clogs with that glue and all that. But it's impressive. I think that's one of the better ones out there right now. They're buying overseas, and they in that live video, if you can find, I don't have it anymore, but they go over and talk about that. They're like, we're pretty much building our own stuff here, but we're using the other stuff from overseas, like the main thing. And it took a little while to get that their ink and glue down. So it's very impressive. I think that's the one. If I was going to buy another one, I would kind of look at. The downside though is I would kind of double check the pricing on the inks, because at the end of the day, if you're using it for your stuff, the thinner you print them, the softer it's going to feel. These, like when I print like this is almost feels like a water-based print. When you do these halftones like that, if you can do prints in halftone dots too that I've done, and if it lets it move, it's better. Like if you print something, like even on screen printing, like the Goon Life shirts, if you guys remember them, the people that got them. Oh, it's screen printed, Plastisol ink. Hey, Custom Jerseys, how's it going? Or Custom Journey, sorry about that. So like with like Plastisol ink, if you do a solid, like if you did this solid instead of dots, solid white, that's going to be like what I call kind of bulletproof prints. If you do print flash print, that's thick Plastisol. It's gonna be thick. Water is not going to go through. There's a video from way back in the day, I think 8-10 years ago. Literally, they take Plastisol ink, print a big square, put it over a cup, flip it upside down. Water don't go through. They put a rubber band around it. Just because that's the advantage, or not really advantage, but that's the thing with Plastisol ink. Plastisol ink is plastic, hence Plastisol. It's in a solvent form, and then when it's heated, you're pretty much melting the plastic in it. You're putting plastic on there. So a lot of these inks are water-based ink. Now, it doesn't mean they don't have other stuff in it that can turn like to other properties, but its carrier, its medium in general is considered a water-based ink form. The inks are like DuPont inks and all that. They consider it a water-based style of ink. So that being said, but even like when you put the white, water doesn't go through them. Just like anything, if you print a big rectangle on anything, even if you're printing a shirt and doing CMYK, if you do a CMYK print, you do an underbase. If you go back and watch my video on the how is printing halftones on DTF, I've done some prints, Custom Journey. And if you go back and watch the one, like I created like a Detroit Piston thing, and so it was a realistic photo. That shirt, I don't know. No, I don't have it around here anymore, but it came out really good. Oh, here's the halftone print right here. Now that you asked that, Custom Journey, so you can see the small dots. When this is printed on a black shirt, because what I did is literally removed all the black out of the print. So if your print was solid white, the halftones aren't really going to help much because you're using the black. Like a good example, the word bad boys. As you can see, that's solid because it's white. So on a shirt, if you were printing this on a shirt, you would do the white solid. You wouldn't do it in necessarily halftone dots. You would let it be solid. The top's the same way. What it does is like some things it is half-toned out. The word pistons is because you're using the darker word. But this comes out pretty good. You guys, if you haven't seen it, go check the video out. I have the shirt somewhere around here, but that's one of the prints that we did on that, the halftones. Well, I just killed the chicken. So you guys have live chickens there, Rye? How thick is the backing? Depends on like which one you're doing. Like on halftones, I put it a tad bit thicker on the halftone compared to like another print. The reason I did that, like the program that I use to halftone these, I can adjust my dot size. And you can see how small these dots are. You can see my fingers in here. And so you can kind of compare. Yeah, I need my nails done. So, Rye, if you got any friends out here that can help me out. No. But you can see how small them dots are. Super small. You can go smaller, but then you start losing dots with where I was saying earlier, because getting glue to stick to something that's that small, it's not going to bond well. So you can only go so small on a dot and get the glue to retain it, but you can do some amazing halftone prints as long as you've got it separated correctly. And here's the thing. This has got to go on a color shirt that you're using for substitution of that color. So I'm doing this on a black shirt, so I'm not putting no black ink here. So you see there is no black ink, especially on the back. It looks kind of funny under the light. Let me see if I can get it. Some of the colors look really weird, like at least to me it does, the reds and all that. But when you have it on a printed, it fills in all them colors and looks really good. It does take some practice to get the color result after correct, because you're adjusting tones that you can't see until you print them. So the effects will take kind of variations on colors. This one's a lot thinner on the print. And it comes out great looking. And the other thing too with direct film, you can vary the amount of, like a good example. This thing's super old. This one that you guys seen, you can almost see the color through the back real easy. There we go. That is the back. Because it's solid and these were going on green shirts and certain other color shirts, we adjusted the amount of ink because you can adjust what percentage ink to lay down. You can do the color ink up front and you can adjust the color ink on the back. So if you want to adjust the amount of ink going to the back, like on the amount of white ink, like for instance, I was doing like 70% on the one. I normally run right around 100% to 110. So if you're doing something where you're like, hey, I need to make sure the colors are more vibrant, put a thicker white, or do more colors and do thinner white. Like if it's something kind of like the one where it's the green and the yellow, you can go darker on the color, or more colors, thicker percentage of colors. And let's say because the colors I'm running, I think 70%. I'm not in front of the computer to see that one. But like I said, you would adjust the amount of ink, and some would call it opacity, but you're adjusting how much ink you're putting down. So it's the same thing as screen printing. Are you using Photoshop to create the halftones or a RIP software? I am using a plugin in Photoshop. I did originally do a lot of my own Photoshop on there, creating my halftones. It was taking a lot longer, and I found a good program that was, I think, like $40. That does great. Another good program to check out, Mikey Designs. He's got that good halftoning program and a separations program for it's kind of like a separation studio. Hey, what's up, Jimmy? Hey, Patty B, how's it going? So what I do, Custom Journey, is I use that program. It's quick, simple, and their new one, it's like they got a one-click button. They've got a few different ones, but even like their videos aren't the best. So they are what they are, but the software works decent enough where you can kind of get a good result like that one with literally within a few minutes. Like it's literally like 2 clicks to get that. All good here. That's really good to hear. Patty, thank you so much, Patty. Kind of it's a cool one. I like. We are doing like I seen your message, Patty. We are doing the transfer. If you get like a PNG or a TIFF file, that works. It's got to be transparent background. The downside is I've had a lot of people sending me stuff or wanting stuff done, and I can't take the time out to do the separations on it without having to charge people. And the downside is the time that it takes me to separate that. You're better to go to fiber or something like that. If your photo isn't ready, like where you're talking about buying it online, and it's already ready, transparent background, yeah, not a problem. 300 DPI, transparent background, CMYK. Because what happens if you don't send it in CMYK and I convert it to CMYK, there can be a color shift. Because what happens, some colors in RGB do not exist in CMYK. It's a known fact for any of the people that print this stuff. So if you're looking at CMYK, it's easier to create some of them colors. Like the worst color that happens, and we have stuff like this that we'll have eventually on the website. What's up, United Federation of Nerds? How's it going? We have stuff like this. So what it does is, like, literally you can buy it and match your color. Because these are actually, this is a CMY chart. It's a Pantone CMY chart. So you can literally go on here, like, lay it down and be like, okay, I need that red. So you can actually see what you've got and match it up to that. And I have the file of this, so you can literally put it on your screen in another file, click that color, and you're good to go. Because, like, what happens, like the red, I use, which red is it? I use 187 a lot. I like that red color, or I'll use, like, it's 188. Them are the two reds that I use a lot more. They're the more deeper reds, the more what I call kind of the blood reds. They're the ones in this row. 187 is, I'm looking at it, or actually it's right here. 187 is right where my finger's at. 188 is the one below it. So I can't see where to order on your site right now. Beard Box. People can email me. What it is, I'm having problems with. I've got a software thing on there that I was working on, and the problem is it's not letting me accept files correctly. Because what it was is, if people were putting big files on there, it was rejecting them. And so, no, you're not blind. So what it is like, if you email me, Waldo2413, I can get you the pricing and all that. I'm still working on it. I found another guy that has software that works really good. The downside, he charges per use. So every time someone uses it on there, I got to pay. He doesn't have a flat rate fee for the software. I would rather have a flat rate fee for the software instead of having to pay per every time someone uses it. To me, that adds up really quick, especially when you start getting lots of orders. You're paying more than what that software technically could be worth, or that you could buy outright. He doesn't want to sell outright packages. Thanks a lot, Beard Box. We'll definitely take care of you. So that's the downside I have about right now trying to find a software. I've talked to the other people that's got it. Ronnie, she does stuff like that. And she's using a different web builder thing, but all they're doing too is emailing her you're emailing the file. Talk about having residuals. That sucks for that software. Yeah, and that's what I was saying, Master Graphics, because, like, it was anywhere, like, he had a numbers that, depending on how many orders you got per month or per week, whatever, it was like a quarter to 50 cents every time someone placed an order. So some of these transfers, like an 8.5, let me see if I can find my kind of idea of pricing for you. We were very competitive. So, like, kind of like an 8.5 by 11, like $250 roughly. So that's an 8.5 by 11. So the downside about that is, if I have to literally, because what's going to happen, what's the widest you can print on your system? The widest I sell, Rye, is 20 inches. I print wider, though. My print paper is 24, but I do that witness paper, Rye. So I keep it that way. What brand and how much is your machine? My machine was around 15,000, Frankie. Patty says, awesome. I will send you one and you can shoot me a price. Yeah, no problem, Patty. Yeah, and like I said, that's the thing is, like I said, with the residual pay on that, is literally on a print that's $2.50. I've got either lose 50 cents on that print if I use his software every time, or I got to add 50 cents to that. And if I add 50 cents, now that makes it a $3 print, and it's kind of getting high on the price. So to me, I would rather buy some. I would rather pay like $1,000 outright for the software, knowing it's mine and I can use it year after year after year. So the money brings it way down really quick after the orders. Then compared to, and I've got stuff like Luminous or Loomis. I've got that one, and they say they can do it. I've chatted with them, and their plugin that I have, because someone else is using it, he sent me a link of how he's using it. But when I went on his page and tried to upload my files, I was having issues the same as I was when I had their plugin on mine. And it's one of the things. So I'm just kind of at the point now where if someone has one, I'll buy it. That Luminous was $100 something bucks, 200 that I paid for it. But I'd rather, if someone can show me a working software on that, give me a price, and it's a decent price, I would buy that. But as of right now, we're just going to go the way of having them email me the stuff. Because the other thing too that I wanted, and that is what the software was able to do, is I want to be able to screen the artwork. I don't want someone to send a photo unless it's supposed to be a photo, but they can convert it to a PNG. Because what happens if they send a JPEG, it's got a white background. Now, if it's a full photo of someone like the screen here with the color, it's not as bad. But let's say you sent something that didn't have a white background, like a photo of somebody, but it had a white background, but you didn't want it there. It's going to print the white on the full size. So if you send an 8.5 by 11, you're going to get an 8.5 by 11 bulletproof piece of plastic, more or less. Where kind of like this print right here, I wanted all the color. These are photos I made of these people, but I don't want white up here. Well, the problem is if I send you this, it's going to box this whole thing in if it was a JPEG. So now you've got a big rectangle piece of plastic from the JPEG. And so, and the thing is if I've got to work on it, it costs me more time and money. And when you're printing them at the set price and all that, you've got to kind of eliminate some of that. So that's why I tried to try to keep it to kind of a minimum of making sure the artwork's correct. And that's where the software is supposed to be able to do that. So that if someone sent something, let's say 72 DPI, which isn't going to print good, it's going to be pixelated like you guys seen in that one photo that I did where it was all pixelated. It wasn't high enough resolution. So when that happens, you're stuck either sending them the art or sending them the transfers that look horrible, or you're trying to fix it for them. And on some things, like if someone only bought one transfer, and let's say your shop hour or your artwork hour is 15 hour or something like that, or even let's do $10 an hour. You've lost money on that one print, because if print's $250 and that's $10, now you're $750 down the drain. You lost $750 just to fix that one print. So it's not worth the time for me to have to fix every print. It's easier for me to tell someone, hey, go to Fiber, do this or that, because when it comes in fine, then I can print it, because I still got to work on the back end. I got to create layers on it to do the white, how I have to print them. So it's not just like I get it and it runs out to the printer. I've got to gang them up on the sheet so that I'm using the most efficient amount of paper. So what software do you use? Any type of software to eliminate the background? Depends what it is, Master Graphics. A lot of the stuff is stuff that I've drawn or designed. So on mine, I start with the transparent background and put things there. Like on this, I took actual photos, but I literally created the Detroit and the Bad Boys, so I laid it over top. And then I took a basketball and I found like an Illustrator file of it or a vector image of it. So I dropped the vector image so I could scale it up to what I wanted, put it on there, ran it out as a PNG after. But all that stuff was already it's transparent, so that like the lines in the basketball are empty. Where if it would have been, let's say, a real basketball, instead of just me creating like the silhouette, like in the silhouette, this is actually the old Bad Boys logo, the basketball, the Motor City Bad Boys, Detroit Bad Boys. So the basketball was made off of that style, so it was made to have that gap in there. But if I wanted the solid one, it would have been fine, but it would have had like gap right here, and it would have been the color of the basketball. The files that they are sent is low resolution. I would never do that. Your reputation pushing for a better quality, or you send it out more presentable at a fee. Yeah, and that's the thing, Master Graphics, is even like on some of the stuff I've got in, is you'll run into on the direct to film stuff. Like in my screen printing, we don't run into that too much. We're not open door on that stuff, so we normally get a file like we need, or I've created the file. On the direct to film, you'll get something that someone's like, hey, I seen it on, like, they'll literally send you a photo off of Facebook. Facebook photos are 72 DPI. And they're like, or they'll put it in like Photoshop and it's, or Illustrator, perfect, simple example. You put it into Photoshop or Illustrator, sorry about that. Drop it into Illustrator, convert to vector, and then you select the white background, delete it, or you can go into Photoshop, drop it in there, select that color background. If it was, let's say, a white image to begin with, there's no white, select continuous line, select, delete. It's going to give you a little ghosting image around it. But literally, that's what some of these people do. Like, they'll do it really quick. But when you do a 72 DPI, you run in with them jagged marks like you've seen in the video that I showed you on the prints. And so what it is that's around there the whole way, them jagged teeth. And so I'm kind of like you were saying, Mr. I don't want to send something out that I wouldn't want to have on my stuff. And now some people that I've dealt with and talked to, they're like, hey, it's perfectly fine. We like how it is. We're fine with that little edge. It's not that bad. But until they can see it in person, it's one of the things when you're doing through photos and all that, or emails, some of it never shows the resolution as good as when you're up close. And some people, even when they see it, they would be fine with it. But to me, if you spend that time to run it, like I said, if you're running on the slower speeds, you're running 8 passes, let's say you've got 4 to 5 minutes in that print, and they bought 20 of them. And so you got 5 minutes, that's 100 minutes. So now you've got almost an hour and a half, 10 minutes shy of an hour and a half in them prints, if you're running the 5 minute way and all that. So we're just using that as a quick number thing. So if you got that much time, now that's wasted prints. Even if it was a few cents, 50 cents per that media on your cost, you're out 20 times 50 cents. So you're out $10, but your time. And time is a thing that not everyone factors in. A good example, the other day, I watched the video of Big Brando. He's explaining the cost of buying your own embroidery machine to doing it yourself. Great video, great information. The only thing he didn't add in there was the big key factor of you running it yourself compared to the subbing it out. And he didn't add supplies. He didn't add thread. Thread's not cheap. Bobbins aren't cheap. They're not free anyways. So you got to add that up over time. You got to add up needle breaking and all that. Doesn't break all the time, but you got to factor in the embroidery costs. So if your machine runs, let's say it's a 10-minute job because it's a puff print, or 15 minutes, let's say 15. Now you're only getting 4 hats an hour. So what is your cost per hour? Are you paying yourself $8 an hour, minimum wage, $7.50? You paying yourself $10? That's got to be factored in. So if, like on his video, he did 30 hats. So if you do 4 hats, because he had puff hats there. So if you do 4 hats, you're doing 30. I mean, you've got 4 or 5 hours there tied up in a cost now that you're doing it yourself, where before when you sub it out to somebody, you can go do something else. So you can screen print, you can manual print. When you're doing it yourself, you're the one doing that. You got to load it. You got to take it off. Someone's got to be paid for that. So I used the program for DTF, Digital Factory version 10. Yeah, I've never used that, or I was looking at, I'm trying to think, it might be from them. There's a new one for wide format, and it is a digital factory, if I'm not mistaken. It's there's another name for it. I've looked at that. On some of the Chinese printers, though, you've got to know which one you have and what driver it has on it. I do have all my information to convert it. And I've downloaded the sample to run it. I've just never hooked it up and ran it yet. I'm going to try that because I hear they've got a lot better features in it. They got a nice halftone thing built into their software. But when I'm doing the software, I'm doing it through another device. I don't let individuals conduct the production that I have to turn down people even when they don't care what the quality is. Remember, when someone else looks at it, yeah, that's the thing, Master Graphics. When someone looks at it bad, they're going to ask where they got it from. Yeah, that's my thing too. I'm kind of the same way. I've got stuff where people's like, here, man, this is a mess up one. But if someone sees you wearing that mess up, what the first thing they're going to, if they see it and they're like, hey, where'd you get that shirt from? Because they're thinking of maybe getting shirts printed. They're not going to go to that one. Hey, what's up, Graphics Warehouse? How's it going? So that's the thing. Yeah, you're 100% right, Master Graphics. And that's my thing. It's like, that's why back in the day where I got, like I said, I got out of embroidery. I'm back in it now, but literally it was hard for me to understand my machine to get like really fine prints. And you start running into the issue of if someone sees something that doesn't look good, they're going to know where they got it from. If someone sees something that looks great, they're also going to know that too. So if you give them a product that's mediocre, they might still love it and be happy with it because they liked it, but everyone else sees that. And if someone else is looking to get something done and they see something that's mediocre, it's going to go not as good for you than if you just spent the time and fix it or not send them at all. And I agree 100% with that, Master Graphics, because if it's not right, enough people see that and it kind of backfires on you. I mean, and some people are fine with pressing it out like that. I'm someone that I just don't do. That's why we've got some of these other samples here that there are little things wrong with them, and I just didn't like it. That's what took so long for me to actually sell to the public. I was good enough to get little things like that I needed for my logos and my products done, but I wasn't content with the quality that if I had to give it to someone else, because like some of the stuff is like even like on this distress print, making sure that all the images was still here when it lifts, was finding the right size that I could distress this and not have any issues where I was losing half the print when it's pressing. The same with the halftones. The halftones I do not really do for people right now because of that. Literally, especially on them halftone prints, I've got, I think one, or that photo that I did in the video, that was one of the earlier prints. If you watch, there's like 2 dots or 3 dots that didn't show up in that halftone print. If you're screen printing, it might not be as noticeable. When you do it with the DTF, since you don't got the ink kind of smoothing everything out, you can see them dots if you're holding it close, and it looks really bad if it's in a major area. If it's in an area where it's kind of congested, you're not going to notice it. Got my prints from Jose Cartel. Good quality. It's a fine line we need to order to make money too. How about photo quality? The photo quality, Master Graphics, I don't know if I have anything here. You can print, the thing you got to remember, and this is what I was talking to Rye the other day about, an i3200 print head. So your Muto, I'm not sure which ones you're running on the print heads, but you might be running, what is it, the X, 1 second. There's like 2 or 3 print heads that are in there or can be in there. Like a DX5, a DX6. That's like a print head that would be like in a Muto or whatever. And the i3200 came out after that. There's another one in there. It's like something 4740 or something like that. And so what happens, them print heads are the same print head in theory that's in like a solvent-based printer. They're all using the same Epson print heads. They have different ones. Like if you go with the i3200, you get a smaller dot ratio, and it's a little bit faster than I think it's the 4270 or whatever. But on that, when you're running sublimation ink, your white ink is going to be your one that's going to have to be a little bit thicker anyways. So your droplet side isn't as important compared to, like the i32 is the better print head, but the other one's not far behind on. Like if you get someone that prints that for you, the biggest thing is going to be the printer and the software, how the resolution is. Most of these are going to be, most people do right around 720 by 1440. Which as long as you've got a 300 DPI is plenty decent. As you know, when you're doing stickers, I mean, yeah, you can do 1440. You can go higher. But the other thing too, that I always look at compared to a screen printed shirt, you're not getting 1440. Like you're not keeping that kind of halftone dots on a shirt. There's this, you're not getting that detail screen printing it. So remember that when you're doing that stuff, you want to get as good, if not better quality. But I mean, you're not going to get, it's just not going to happen. You're not going to get all the dots either. I seen everyone using the FreeJet Plus from DTF for DTF. Yeah, Frankie, they can do that. You're limited so many an hour. You can use any direct-to-garment machine that's out there. People use the Epson ones. Any direct-to-garment can be used to do that, Frankie. It's just what I was saying before too, like the FreeJets, if you know that print head and you know the speed, what it takes to do a 13 by 19 on a FreeJet is close to 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes to do a full 13 by 19. Yeah, if you're only doing left chest, it doesn't take that. If you're only doing a 3-inch circle, but if you're filling the whole area up of a 13 by 19, what's up, Goon Life? Good afternoon, man. Good afternoon. I got a lot of funeral orders. I use print on Super Tech film in the Muto, but the finished product is not that great. The thing with that, Master Graphics, is, hey, good night, Jimmy. Good to have you. Okay, send me the thing this week, Patty, and I'll definitely help you. Curing, yeah, you have to be careful on over curing the white ink. Yeah, and that's the thing too. White ink can be tricky. The curing thing and all that. The thing, Master Graphics, about photos is what you'll run into also is when you do a photo, as you know, even like, so if you're printing on like the printable vinyl, you're going to have what I call the bulletproof print. You're going to have a big print. You could scale it down, and because the downside about funeral stuff, like we've dealt with that a bunch. Usually funerals, you only have a day or two. It's bad to say that, but it's a quick process where it's not like you got a month to print a shirt. So the resolution, like if you go, let's say a white shirt and do halftone prints, but what's going to happen 90% of the time, they're going to bring you a photo and it might not be the best photo. So, and this is the thing I've always said before, crap in, crap out. If the photo's crappy coming in, you can only polish a turd so much. It's still going to be a turd. And I don't mean it negative on the thing but like if someone's photo isn't the best, you can't really make it better. I mean, you could Photoshop and put, let's say if the photo was old and it was a ripped corner, you can spend the time in Photoshop and repair it. But the image quality is still the image quality. Yeah, and so that's the biggest issue that I run into there. So, and what happens, a lot of people go do the sublimation method. Not everyone wants white shirts. It's bad to say, it's funeral. Most people wear black shirts anyways. So yeah, now on the super color thing, our used super color for pictures come out really, really nice. Now this is a thing. So if you're content with the super color, you'll get the same quality. But like I said, it's the image going in. So if you send them a good image, you're going to get a good image back. You will get good quality. I don't have the thing I did the other weekend for someone. I did some photos similar to that. The photos came out good. Photos, as long as you got a good quality, but you got to remember too, it's just like the super, any of them, you're going to have that, what I call that bulletproof. Hey, Jesse Gibson, that bulletproof print, that big rectangle print, unless you go in there and delete that stuff, all that will always be there. So like if you're doing a photo and it's got like a heaven, like the gates, the background, unless you go in and delete all that stuff, it's going to be whatever the outline is. So that's the thing where it's not bad. It's gonna feel the same as a super color. It is gonna have that blocky, solid, plasticky feel. There is no way around it. You can half tone it like I was showing you with this. The downside, and a perfect example, is this right here. Go back and watch the video, and you can see the images on here. Like a good example is this one right here. Look at his face. Granted, you don't have the black behind it right now, so you're not seeing it as clear. But it looks nice on the shirt. But like for instance, the official back here, you'll lose some of the image by doing the half tones compared to if I printed, like if I would have printed this as a solid, it would have got more detail in it. It would have got all the detail. The down and like this, it would have been fine just to have the rectangle in the middle here be solid. But the point of this was to show that, to do tests on half tones, to show how soft you can get a feel. When you do the half tones, yeah, you get amazing. It feels really nice. It's hard to tell the difference. But there's a lot of work on doing the half tone stuff. And it's something like, it's hard to do. Once you've got it kind of dialed in and you're content with the dot size you're using, you can get some nice stuff. But it's one of the things, because you can go smaller dot size. I found when I go to smaller halftone size, you will lose some during the transfer if you're not careful. So I found going the medium size or the larger size, it's more forgiving. But the advantage of being more forgiving is, it's not going to have an issue. Or it's not going to wash out the first week and come off. So I would kind of stick with that, knowing that part from doing it enough. But that is the issue that you will run into. But it's better than using like the opaque or whatever jet paper, whatever it is, Navy, whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about. The other people use. You're printing to a printable media, to solvent printer, so you'll get close to that quality. You'll get almost, and the only difference between Supercolor and the other, Supercolor is using a laser printer to get their image down. They're screen printing the white behind it. I did videos on that. You can buy that paper. It's DTS, I believe it is, the company that sells it. You buy that paper, you run it through a laser printer. Literally, it's 2 seconds to run it through a printer. You take the background and you make the screen, that image that you have there, and everywhere you want white ink, you fill it in. You screen print that. I've got a vacuum fixture to do that, and you slide your transfer paper on there, register, and you do one coat of white, and you run it through the powder the same way. That's how Supercolor is done. The downside about that paper, we've talked about it before, it's kind of gets a little pricey per se. If you're doing the small stuff like a funeral thing where you're going to make $15-20 a shirt, it's not bad, but it's Supercolor pricing. So that paper, and then you can't go 13 by 19. They're a little bit shy. That's why Supercolor doesn't go no bigger. They can't get that paper right now. Cold hard truth. That's why they don't go bigger. But so the thing with that is, the production wise can be quicker because the screen printing is just as quick as you can run it, and the laser printer is going to run it as quick. You're getting toner. Toner is plastic. So where everyone says it has that weirder feeling, toner is plastic. It's melted under the infuser, or the infuser, whatever you want to call it. So, hey, press that one on a black shirt just for us right now. Which one? Let me, If I do, I think I'm going to blow that fuse with that light. But I'm trying to think where I got to test black shirt. I don't want to. Let me glance and see if I got one. I'm trying to think where, because I actually got shorts. I already printed. I've printed that image before. That's why I was trying to find it. And it doesn't help having these lights. I know the once you press the black shirt good quality really pops. Yeah, it does. Let me do this. Let me move this off of here. I got some other stuff on here. It might trip the fuse because I got the other stuff plugged in. It is going to take a second to heat up. Let me try to find a test print shirt somewhere. I know I do have some. 1 second. Let me find a test print one. Let me move the I found this one. Make sure the light's kind of back. So the heat press is heating up, guys. So I'll do that. What's up, the print house? I will be contacting you a little bit later tonight, the print house. Master Graphics, once it heats up, we'll run that one. It will be, just so you can see it, like I said, it's this print, and I think, let me look close. I think it's missing a dot or two already on it. But we will see. But like I said, we'll run that right here, right now, so you can see. But it's got to get up to temp. So but like I said, that's one of the things. Like if they want it on like a pink shirt, though, there's no pink in here, so you're gonna have to run it solid then. So the halftone thing is one of the more trickier things that you got to put on a dark shirt. You gotta do that. If you're doing it for yourself, it's fine. That's why we don't really do these for customers, because there's so much stuff you got to tweak on there that it makes it, I wouldn't say impossible, but it makes it where it can be really tricky to get a good print. How's it going, Levi Apparel? Let me check the temp on this. What I'm going to do also, that's why I'm waiting. Knocking things over. What I'm going to do is actually print on the inside of this one, because we use it for other stuff. Let me grab I know I got another shirt here that was better for that. Okay, this one's better, guys. Sorry about that. This one's like a small, so it will fit the image better. We're at 180 right now. All I'm doing is preheating this. So everyone bear with me. And remember, I'll have to come back once we get it up to temp. But I just want to get some of the moisture so right before we actually print it, it will come out the way it needs to. What's up, Nova Works? How's it going? But like I said, once it hits that temp, there's no editing it, no cheating. We're gonna run this. This would be better if it was bigger. This is only it's a small print. 7.5, 7 tall. So it's super small compared to a normal print. Normally my prints I try to go 12 inches wide, 12 to 13 on the front. That one is nowhere near that. So that is the issue there. But like I said, that's the only thing about that. Master Graphics is what I would suggest is I would be content because, like I said, you can do the full image no matter what. Like, because even if you screen printed that photo on the front, which CMYK, even if you want the CMYK white underbase on the solid thing because you're doing black print, they're still going to have what I call that bulletproof feel. There's just no way around it. Like, I mean, you could screen print, use a flattening iron on an auto and all that stuff. Flatten iron, do the highlight whites. But normally, like, the cost to do that on a funeral shirt, the numbers for how many they're going to need to how many screens you're going to have to make doesn't add up. So I would normally go with the that method here. Guys, I do have another video that will come out this week. But just so everyone knows, he's on here also. It's going out Monday to Print House. I've been meaning to ship it out, guys. It's just I have to have someone help me lift it. I gave the Print House, or I'm giving him my UV printer. It's boxed up here. Let me take a photo so everyone can see that it's in a crate. But there's the I have a video on crating it up, guys, but the UV printer's crated up. It is going to the Print House. Just got it all kind of set it up, and he's gonna be the he's gonna be the new owner of it, guys. So you guys can follow him and see how he can tweak the ink colors and all that. Like I said, it's something I got to do the videos on, guys. I'm not keen. I don't have much that I need to do with that printer. I don't do that many small things like the speed and all. It didn't fit into what I need. I got it literally a good price on them printers. And it was to show you guys UV printers. So I don't need it no more. I wasn't using it enough. It was just doing head cleaning. So I thought, hey, let's hand it out. Let's give it on to someone else. And so it's going to the Print House, guys. So guys, follow the Print House if you haven't already. Does great content, guys. Check him out. But the Print House is the new owner of the UV printer, guys. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the video. Maybe I might not even drop that video, but he'll get it, guys. Keep an eye out for the unboxing. Yeah, and like the thing, the Print House, using their other one for DTF, the downside is like my biggest complaint is I didn't like the ink profiles. It was hard to, and you can tweak them to get them right, but the UV system is not friendly on what I could find. Like I couldn't find much. Where when you go to direct to film, you can find ink colors everywhere. We're at 270, guys. We got a few more seconds. Why did you give the UV printer, and what can you do with it? I just gave it away because I don't need it. I don't want it no more. I did the videos with it. I don't print with it. The print house was interested in that stuff. I just don't need it. I gave stuff away before. I bought that to do a video with it. And I don't want it, don't need it. So I don't think he's going to give you the BN20, Rye. Sorry. What can you print with UV inks? You can print on technically any substrate. You can print on metal. You can print on glass. You can print on wood. I don't have anything. I did print coasters and all that with it because UV printers print white ink. So it's kind of similar as a direct to film. You got the white underbase. Lays white ink down. You print on top. You can, if you have a lacquer system with it also, you can do some. Yeah, no, it was just Rye. There was no giveaway on the channel. It was just I gave it away. He knows why. So, but it's just because I thank him for the support. Thanks for supporting my channel. The Print House, you know that. And so he says, by the way, the Bowling Green Strong shirt quality good. Was that? Yeah, that was DTF, the Print House. All them, can't speak. All the Bowling Green Strong shirts that we did, even the white ones, were all done with direct to film. And so I was able to put the BN20 in my jacket and walk out the show. Now that's a lie, because Rye's this tall and that printer's like sideways is this tall. Now he could have rode it out like a horse on the wheels, but just got text. But one of the other things, a good example, you can explain to Print House in one of the videos or whatever how that feels. Like it doesn't really. You can kind of go on there to Print House and tell people. I'm trying to keep an eye on the temp. Okay, we're at 300 right now. Give it a few more seconds, and then we're gonna run this in here for you, Master Graphics. But you can kind of tell people to Print House what you think of the feel. What do you think it feels like? Does it feel like a transfer? Does it feel like vinyl? Does it feel like opaque, whatever it is? Does it feel like you tell us, or make a video to Print House? I know a lot of people are asking about it. I was going to stuff it in my arm sleeve. Well, you could have done that, Rye, because everyone knows you got the gun show going on, so they wouldn't have thought anything there. So like the Print House says, the DTF you did on the shirt was, wow, my experience so thin. Yeah, you can't, like, that's what I tell people. You can, if you do the press and do the second press, the crazy thing to Print House like this, because it's half-toned, which you just got in here, and this is a shirt here, it's even smoother and softer than the solid ones. It's crazy, really, how smooth you can get these things and how soft the feel. It's kind of pretty impressive. Okay, so we're at 310. So what I'm going to come over and do, is just do another quick pre-press to kind of make sure I get all the moisture out of this thing. And we're just pressing for 15 seconds. Yeah, I know the chicken. Look at these calf muscles and the wool socks. It's a fashion trend. Okay, so we did that. Let me check everyone. I still need to order one of them Bowling Green Strong. Yeah, anyone can. It's on the web. The website's still up. All the money goes to the victims of the tornado. They're still recovering. We've got roads that still, everything's still there. It doesn't get fixed overnight. It feels like some type of paper when it's square print. Yeah, it can in a way. That's why I do the different prints. So here we go, guys. We're going to press this halftone that everyone's wanting to see. I'm just throwing it on here, and over here it's kind of dark. So I really can't see what's going on here. I'm not really lining it up that great. We're just pressing it to press it. So here we go, guys. Supposed to be 320. We're at 315. 15 seconds. 3, 2, 1, done. So these are cold peeled, guys. So it's right here. We're just going to set this right over here for right now. Let it cool a few seconds. Once it cools, I'll bring it right in front of here so you guys can see me peel. You can see if I miss any of the dots. The big thing when you do the halftones, you want to make sure you let it get all the cool because the glue is trying to hold on really tight on them. I like it better than Bright Line G Flex, so thin compared. It looks like it's already popping. Yeah, it's crazy. I'll hold it up. Like you can see this before I peel it. The colors, like you get literally, it looks 10 times better when you have the printed. Still a little warm. I'm not doing the shake method or anything like most of the people do. Waldo, let me send the file for testing tomorrow. I have those TKO transfers coming as well. Yeah, I got some too to print house. I'm interested in that. It's an awesome company. I think TKO is a great thing to work with. One thing that I've seen some people complain about, which they were complaining about like the minimum quantity or the thing. And the thing with me, when I order transfer, like a one color transfer, I always buy 100. Because when you're at 15 cents, 100's $15. It's stupid not to. So you're going to use them more. They can sit on the shelves, park them on the back. Because by the time you had a setup fee on any of them places, if you only buy 10, then you're at $2 to $3 in a transfer. It's not cost effective. To be cost effective, might come into the ASI in Fort Worth. I don't know. When is that, NoveWorks? I might. I don't know. Like if the shows aren't going to be packed, I don't want to go because kind of like the ISS where everyone backed out. I hate to say, I don't want to go to a show where there's not enough vendors there. Or at least in my mind, what I call enough vendors. Okay, so here we go. I got to lay it here on this thing. No dots were missing. So there it is. Didn't miss a dot. So here is, now you got a second press. So I'm going to go do the second press, but there's the image right there. So let me do the second press now, Master, and then it'll be done. I'm going to turn the heat press off. I'm not pressing anything else tonight. But this is how it's done. And then again, 320, 15 seconds. Look at the calf show, the chicken legs. Look at these inverted hearts, spades. I got spades right there. You should be jealous of these legs, Roy. It is all done. I'm going to put my sheet back on. there it is. As you can see, the colors pop a lot more. That's doing the halftone, guys. You guys seen it live, seen it here. Feels like to me, this feels, especially with the halftones, it feels like a printed shirt. But that's how that's done right there. Rye, if I don't have many beers in me, I was going to go live with the BN20. Not tomorrow for sure. Chicken legs. Just got ideas, etc. Just get ideas, yeah. Yeah, Seamaster Graphics. And that was a live. That was a print that I've had. This print is probably, I don't know, 2-3 months old. I printed them even before that other video. If you guys go back, so you can go back, see how an older print that was been sitting on this desk, how it printed. You guys, you got field of vision, but if you can, shirt sound, transfer sound, it's nice. So you got to see it live. There was no doctoring anything. There's no cheating and making it not work right. If you use them right, press them right, they come out right. But yeah, like I said, you can, like, the biggest thing, especially with like even like these like photos, is when you're doing the halftones per se, is getting your colors right, because like these jersey colors and all that, when you do that, you do got to tweak colors a little bit for the image, but philo vision. I don't, like, you could run the BM, like any solvent printer, technically you can run sublimation ink through them, Frankie. The print heads will take it in a way. It's got to be flush or set up for that though. The print house is the best answer on that though. The print house, does it say in the manual, do they have a sublimation version? I mean, I'm not saying he's not doing that, Frankie. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Mike. I was gonna say, to me, it's a waste, especially too because the head cleanings a solvent printer does compared to a sublimation. Yeah, 570 is cheaper. Literally for that price, for the BN20, it's like $5,000. You could have bought the large format Epson for that. Now the new one, I don't know if you guys seen it. I know you have, Mike, because you see everything. But the HP, have you seen that? Where it's already, the ink is already dried. It's got a drying jet on it. The HP sublimation printer. That thing is nice. I just haven't seen any test results with it. I know I got a flyer thing about buying one the other day, but it's pretty nice for what it is. It's also like, I want to say 48 inches, so it's not like a 40-inch roll. If I was getting another one, I'd probably go with the HP one. Right, Texas, he does. I think you meant the HTV transfers. Yeah, if he's doing the heat transfer vinyl, then all he's doing is using he's not using sublimation. He's just using, well, kind of like what you were in that video, Rye, where you were scratching it. He's just using the printable HTV. Master roll on eco solvent printer is just a small one, yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I haven't seen Stan's videos to say, look, I lost my green light now. There, I'll add some more green back into it. BN20 is great to do printable vinyl too, and cut. Yeah, they do the cut. If you guys want to see some cool information on it, their cutter is not a solenoid cutter where it's pulling straight down. They use a screw. Watch the print house. He actually goes in detail showing that screw move up and down. So they do a screw mechanism system. So it does take a little bit longer, but it had some pretty cool features on that, guys. Like I said, if you haven't checked Rye out, the print house, NovaWorks, Master Graphics got to start making videos. But go check all these other people out, guys, if you haven't already. Great for printable HTV. Enjoy little things. Print's awesome. Yeah, printable vinyl. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, Frankie. I didn't watch Stan's video. And honestly, you could, if you started from scratch, you can run Sublimation ink and a lot of them printers, but I don't think he would have bought it just for that. I think he went with the printable vinyl is what I really think. But like I said, you could do it if you wanted to. My JV, was it JV 33? I want to say my old Mamaki. We literally converted that to other stuff after, when it was when it was already on its last leg and there wasn't much to do with it. So yeah, you can convert that to a link to Total Ink Solutions. Has some videos on it. Yeah, like Jose said, I'll have to check that out. Like, I mean, I've seen the BN20, and I've seen the print. Like, it's not bad for what it is. I'm also wondering what the one that Mamaki that they told Rye to get when they said it was just a few grand more, because that's the one. I'm a big Mamaki person. I'm the purple team. I've always liked. Waldo reminds me what heat press is that. I'm old and forgot. That is a Chinese import heat press. I have it. It's an old video. I actually have the link where I got it in China. I think it was like $400. It's got the pull-out tray, pop-up, magnet latch. I like 4 something, I think. It's been a while. It's the full size. It's like a Fusion, but without some of their settings. I like it, Rye. I mean, I'm fine with, because a lot of Knight is one of the only companies made in the U.S. A lot of these other ones are still made overseas. So, I'd rather just go to the source and buy it from the source instead of getting it further down the line. So that's my kind of thought on it. But you expect the downside though right now with shipping. Has anyone else tried the TKO transfer on that? The print house, I think everyone's still waiting for them. I know I got an email about that right away. And I was going to order some single colors. But I was hoping that they were going to give him a promo code so I can maybe get some change off of it. They're probably not. So I'll probably order something this week and do something. I mean, I might do like this graphics where everyone sees it anyways. I might do something. I got to figure out what to have them print. All right, great having you, Master Graphics. I hope that was helpful for you, Master Graphics, on some of the stuff. I like my Fusion, Fusion IQ. Had my old stalls for 15 years. Okay, guys, great night. Brand new company. Thanks a lot, Master Graphics. Not a print house. It's a company. They've been in business. That heat press company, I think 15, 20 years. It says on the AliExpress or Alibaba, whatever it was. They've been around a while. That's why it's like it is literally, I think they're running the other stuff for them. I think they're just doing literally knockoffs. But I've temp probed it with the infrared. Infrareds aren't always as accurate. I've also took thermocouples and ran thermocouples throughout it, and I'm getting fairly consistent with plus or minus 5 degrees on the whole thing. I've had that 2 years now, still running great. No major issues with it. The beeping noise when your auto opens, the beep sound has gotten a little less now, the buzzer, but depending on how you bump it or whatever, it's what it is buzzers are little coils, as everyone knows. Oh yeah, the TKO, yeah. TKO's been in business a few years, the print house. They just didn't really advertise or start doing anything mainstream until last year, I think. But they never went after the market of trying to go big, kind of like a lot of them, kind of like it's not 187, but F&M. It's like they don't advertise much. That's kind of like the TKO. They're more open at showing you their factory, though. They're not like Supercolor that keeps it on lock and don't show anybody anything. So, and they do other things like Supercolor. If you order a white print, it's going to be the white screen print. But like if you order a 2-color, it's going to be the transfer with the white ink background. On TKO, you're going to get a 2-color screen print transfer unless you order the ultimate color ones. So the difference is like they're using the different processes for what everyone's going to be more cost effective to you. So, or not everyone does that. So like I said, so you're like I said, they got that 15-cent single color one. If you go to Supercolor and buy a single color, you're still paying $8 a print. So there's the advantage there of that. Riolo Jai, how's it going, man? Nice print on the sweatshirt. That DTF is nice. Yeah, thank you so much. Riolo, you just kind of got in here. We did this one live. It was just to show some people that were asking about the thing. Did you get any updates, Riolo, on your machine yet? Of how long before it gets shipped and all that stuff? Hopefully it gets shipped soon for you, so you can kind of get up and running soon. But yeah, the downside, Rye, is with the shipping is just that I have right now, if I was getting another heat press like that, is if you go the cheapest route where it's on a boat, that's 2 to 3 months to get an order, it seems like right now. You can have them overnight freighted, and I think, I mean, it'll still be less than $1,000. I just got another order from a different pass-through at the church. We did the wall mural, etc. at Friday. They want more of those custom acrylic-based signs I did for them, but different, more laser time. It has more money, Mike. Another thing, guys, if you're wanting to check out some lasers, check out Mike's laser. He got it in there. It's doing some pretty great work. And you can kind of see how the print house got laser too, guys, so check him out also. But you can kind of see what people can do. Like the print house has got LED lit stuff, guys, on some of his older videos. Waldo, I wasn't expecting the edges to be so crisp on the DTF. I thought it was, anyways. Yeah, like I said, you can get really crisp images to print house. It's just like I've always told, like, kind of like, hate sound bad. It's like crap in, crap out, like I always say. Like this print right here, I hate to say it, this D, because I copied the D off another thing, if you look really close, you can see the jagged edge on that. If you start, and that's why it looks like it did. If you start with some, or here's a perfect example. This is one of my clothing brands. This is my D to my clothing brand. You can see the crispness of these. They're right to points. If you have the high resolution, you'll get high resolution results. If you have low resolution, you get low resolution results. This one was a high resolution photo when I created this off of this. It's spot on, perfect corners, sharp edges. It's perfect. I ran a distress print behind it and did that effect to stress it, but you'll get the super feel and all that. You just gotta kind of adjust it out a little bit, but yeah, they come out really good. Like I said, and then the other thing, it also comes like on that shirt, the print house, that was a Gildan. If they would have had like a soft style Gildan in that, which they didn't, or I would have got it for you, then it's even softer because the shirt adds to the feel of it also. Sorry for coming into the Streamlight. What printer are you using for DTF? And what have you done to make transition better? Do you think you're going to get in an industrial machine? Yeah, I actually have an industrial machine, JC Productions. Yeah, what I did, or the print house, sorry. I did actually start, like these prints were all vector prints, like this and all that. They were started with vector. What's the press information on those? These transfers, I do 320, 15 seconds. If I'm doing like where I showed earlier, this was a tri-blend shirt, and I still did 320, 15 seconds. Comes out perfect, no dye migration or anything. But if you're worried about dye migration, I got a video that I did for Leonardo, and we dropped it to 280 to show, because on a lot of things you don't want to scorch or burn it. You can drop it to 280 and they do fine also. But this was at 320. Everything is always 15 seconds and repeat press. Currently, I'm legally blind and doing DTF here in Miami. I have an Epson Artisan and eventually going to be getting a 3830. Yeah, what I'm running, JC, is I'm running, it is called Top UV. I'll make a video this week with the link to him. His name is, Yi is his last name. Any other time I told you, I talked to him quite a bit, but it's Ken, or Jeff, my bad. It's Jeff Yi. I will put a link to his WhatsApp and all that in the next video with it. You can get a hold of him. You can get a hold of his information. I think it's Top UV Prints. Was it a little dye migration, right? Yeah, you can get a little if you're running high temps and all that. The print house on anything it will. On this, I didn't get any. On the other one, I was using like the Sharp Truth with black, which Sharp Truth and orange are some of the worst for dye migrations. This, we didn't get any. Like you can see right next to this one, they're both the same. With the Distresso, what makes it kind of look like that is where I've got the holes in there. So it's making it not look as white per se. So it's giving it kind of like a screen printed effect. We've screen printed that image thousands of times. So good night, Mike. Good to have you. Just seems like the sample I got from the show's different temps. Yeah. On the thing, Ryan, everyone's got their own thing. I've always, even my supplier, I mean, he's told me to go higher. But I've always stuck with 320, 15 seconds, and it works great. But like I said, everyone, I will say this. If you do poly, for instance, you're going to burn it. Or if you do like jackets, like you're doing, not this jacket, like the windbreaker jackets that are nylon. Yeah, you're going to melt that thing at 320. So I would go lower on them. But in general, you're fine. Anything else, I run the 320 in 15 seconds. Some people say less. All my paper has always been cold peel. And I mean, you've seen, I let it sit here, peeled perfect, all them halftones. In the video on the live where I was, or the video I dropped yesterday, I think it was, where I was doing the direct to film for these event shirts, literally some of them are already lifting by themselves. So you can kind of, some of them are already come off that easy. But yeah, everyone, and like in some of the thing too, Rye, it could be the temps. Like if you're using neon ink, I mean, everything's going to have a different Cobra ink where they've got their own powder. That's going to have a different, more than likely temp. I think they said that in one of their videos. That's going to have a different one. I know this is not part of the conversation right now, but I'm doing 11 prints and taking me 8 minutes in 1 hour. I have done 7 prints. Yeah, JC, like if you go back and watch my other video, that's what I was explaining. Mine's a 24-inch wide printer, JC. In the video, it's 2 videos ago that I did it. That video I'm running 4.5 minutes for 2 13x19 print areas. So that's 2.5 minutes of print. So at that rate, you're knocking out 30-something prints an hour. 13x19. You can make prints smaller, of course, so you'll get more out an hour. If I tweak my settings, which isn't hard because I can adjust them all, I can knock out 60 prints an hour and not lose any quality of the print. That's not tweaking the print. That's tweaking cycles between head cleans. It's changing some of the other parameters on it. So, and then if you drop lower resolution, all that, you can get it even higher. But I'm running higher number. I'm running close to 60 prints an hour when I set it up the other way, JC. So it's a big difference. So like when you're running prints at that speed that you're running at, that's what makes it, you've got to charge for one, your film, you're not running on a roll. So your paper, you're looking at, where I pulled it up earlier, you're looking at higher numbers. So you're looking like $1.50 a sheet. 53 cents if you buy 1,000 of them on a 13x19 sheet. I'm buying paper in the roll, so my cost per paper is cents, like pennies. Production costs, I'm in 15 to 30 cents, depending on if I really wasted all my ink and ran it continuous and filled up a whole 13x19, JC. Yeah, the other thing too to print house, if I turn my clean cycle off and just where I'm monitoring it, I can run 90 prints, close to 90 prints an hour. Or if I keep the clean cycle at the other setting and drop down, instead of doing 8 passes, like to 6 or 5, I can increase the speed that way too. But so yeah, I'm able to knock out 60 13x19s an hour. So you can kind of hit some decent numbers. I'm running a dual print head, JC. The thing with that though, JC, where you did say you're legally blind, I'm legally blind in my left eye. You will need some help setting that up on a dual print head unless they have a tech come out. When you buy from like China, like I did, you've got video tech and they'll answer right away. But and watch, I'll check and see. It's Saturday, so technically it's going on Sunday over there. Let me hit the WhatsApp and so I messaged him. We'll see. He was on here at 7:30 tonight already. We'll see if he's going to answer me or not. Usually right now he's on the break because he gets in there right around 7:30, and then he goes on break till around 11 my time here. So he might not answer right away, but we'll see. But normally, like I said, he's fairly quick to answer. Let me do this. I'll just call him and see. Remember, though, it is the weekend there, but he is normally very around the clock on the phone for me. Okay, he did answer the one, I believe, because he's got a double thing. So give me a second. We'll see. So we'll see. Yeah, I know what that call was going to throw. Not will not go through because it's an iPhone. But the big thing, JC, is like I had to get like a jeweler's loop because you got to line both heads up, since they're independent heads, and so that can be a little tricky, because you're printing on this clear media. So when you print white ink on a clear media, luckily I've got some black paper put behind it. I can see right through it, so I can see the lineup. But it can be hard to see. And it takes quite a bit. Like literally, I kept messaging back, and I was like, "Hey," I would send him a photo. I'm like, "You pick. I can't see the difference." Finally, I went and got like a jeweler's loop. I went and got all this high tech stuff to see really, really close detail, and was able to knock it out. Yeah, I know. Not all of us use Apple products. I mean, but I'm willing to bet if I called the print house on his phone, it would answer. Now he's online right now. Says he's online. So let me see if he's going to ping back. I just asked him, is it all right for me to call again to show people that he answers? See, the print house with me though, Rye, got that Chinese contact. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure Rye's got that connection. Rye's like, I'm not Chinese. I'm Vietnamese. Laotian, however he says it. We're gonna try him one more time. He didn't answer yet. I think you should get one, Rye. It's a way better phone. See, I got the LO thing. I just can't speak it or say it. See, look, he's got blue marks. Make sure it don't show my number on there. Eh, there he goes. Okay, so here's what he said, guys. Let me turn it up.
but I'm driving about 5 minutes, okay?
So could you guys hear that? Let me pull up to the other mic. I don't know which mic's picking it up.
But I'm driving about 5 minutes, okay?
See? Hello, Robert. I'm driving about 5 minutes. Okay, so see, he does get back. He does answer. So, like I said, guys, like how many sale? Like I would like to say, and this is a good one because the print house has got a rolling 20. I would like to see anyone call, even if like because you're not buying direct from Roland. Let's say you bought from help me out here. Another time I could have told you Grimco or any of them. Any of your sales reps in the US right now, I would love to see someone to be able to call their sales rep on 10 o'clock on Saturday night and their rep answer and be able to answer them back. Like I said, this guy's over in China and he got back to me on Saturday just for me to tell him, hey, I'm just talking. So, as you guys can see, kind of, that's a nice thing if you get a good sales rep or a vendor from over there, you get good service. So like if I have an issue with my machine right now, or if I wanted him to, hey, I'm going to go set something up on there, call Daisy. Yeah. So on that, the print house would call Daisy answer. And like I said, that's one of the only nice things is like even on the weekend. Now, granted, it's daytime over there in the morning for my rep, so I've got to meet him at night times, or I can talk to him up till 8 in the morning. I respond to comments 3. Yeah, that's for you though, the print house. But like these printer companies, it seems like most of the people always ask, is it hard to get a hold of them? Is it hard to get tech service? And that's one of my things where, okay, yeah, 5 a.m. Thanks, Jose. Yeah, it's 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. Yeah, so you're not normally going to get people to answer 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. He did. So it's one of the things that I'm not saying that's why they're the best, but that is why I think people, when you pick and choose some of these vendors that you deal with, check them out, see if they will answer at random hours. Because, like I said, if I have an issue with something, or like the other day, I'm thinking of importing ink to sell for all the people here in the States. Sell ink because everyone sells it, like DTF warehouse and all that. I never depend on any company I buy from. Yeah. And that's the thing, the print house is, it's bad to say it, but it's hard to get service on any company. I honestly feel that if you get the right company and connections from overseas, it's a magical thing. That's the other thing too, Rye. Like I literally, before I found some of these people, I was in contact with a lot of them, and I will say this to people too, it's a lot harder to find people than you think. Like when I import these tumblers and all that stuff, a lot of people import them, and a lot of people stop importing them and carrying them because they were into issues. They're like, hey, I can't get answers, I can't get product. I've been pretty good at building bases with these companies where I've worked with some people over there at some of my other jobs. So it's one of the things that if you have a good base or foundation built with some of these companies and people, you can literally get a hold of them at any time. You can explain problems and they're going to take care of you. I'm not saying it's few and far between. It's not like a unicorn. But even here in the States, it's the same thing. You don't always get the service you need. Now I'll say this. I bought a used help me out here, the print house. What is my other printer I got that I got the print house what is it? 370, 360, 370. It's the bulk ink bulk ink HP whatever it is, 64-inch printer. I bought it used from someone I know. And yep, just go to Alibaba and just start talking to them first and see if they respond. Yeah, and that's the thing, Rye, is like literally that's one of the biggest D's, T's, and things. Trying to get a good contact in China is hard. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I got the print house helping me out because he knows I've sent him information on. I got an HP Latex 370. To get now, I will say this. Whatchamacallit in Texas that has the 360. Literally, if you call HP, they can like they can charge you for like tech service on the phone. If they have to come out, it's like $2,000. But whatchamacallit in Texas, that covered his bill and everything on the parts. But like for instance, if I need service right now, even if you're fairly new on it, they don't. You've got to pay for some of the service. Now I can call Grimco, which they sell them, so Grimco takes pretty good care of their customers, even if you didn't buy it from them. Buy a lot of products from Grimco, but even on that, they can only help me out so much because he was like, "Hey, if we're in the area, we'll come by and even help you out, get it up and running." But and the JC says, "Thank you so very much for responding to me. Sorry about that. I just had to speak to a client that wants 200 shirts." Yeah, that's fine, JC. That's really nice to get that, JC. And that's what I was saying. That's why when you have the faster printers, so if I'm running 60 an hour, that's 3.5 hours it would take to print 200 transfers, 13 by 19. If you went smaller, yeah, like if you went a 10 by 10, you're almost doubling that. So you could do it quicker. But that's the big thing, JC, is like the production speed to what the quantity you need is the big variable about the printers. Yeah, I was going to say to Print House, it was, I can't think who he is, can't think of his screen name right now, but that's what he was telling me. He said the service was pricey. It was like $2,000 to $2,500 to get him to come out. But he said that included all the parts and maintenance also in some contract thing. Because he was interested in buying the 370 just because he's that backed up. And I haven't done anything with it yet. It's still sitting here. Eventually I'll get around to get it plugged in. I got that and the Suma plotter there too with the Tengio cutting. That's sitting out, just sitting out there. I haven't used them yet. I did tests on the Tengio cutting and all that. Made sure the cutter was working, but haven't used them. They're just backups. Hey everyone, great night. Got to go to Print House. More being 20 videos. I need some convincing. Have a good night, Rye. Good to talk to you. Yeah, no, and again, JC, no problem. These T's and things, that is one of the hardest things, like you were saying, these is it does take a while to find good vendors and good contacts over there. Like I said, I've done this a while. And it yeah, I love my latex for pumping out banners. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I'll get it up and running and probably knock some stuff out with it. It's one of the big things. Like I said, there's great stuff out there. It's just finding what works best for you. It's kind of like you're saying too, the Print House. The quality of a BN20 compared to the latex, it's crisper on a BN20 or a solvent printer than it would be on the latex. If you're doing big stuff like banners and all that, latex is probably the way to go. Like they both have pluses and minuses. And that's the thing, guys, too. Keep checking out the Print House because he goes over all that stuff. And like I said, he covers that because he has them both. The best thing to find out on products is watch people that have the products. You get a lot more input from people that have it than don't have it. I can tell you how to do open heart surgery where I've watched ER on TV. It don't make me a doctor, and you probably shouldn't take my advice. But if you know people that have it, like I'm going to take my heart surgeon's advice on what I should eat and don't eat for my heart compared to someone my size that's not a heart doctor. So it's one of the things is like the print house. He's got a BN20 solvent printer. He's got a latex printer. Shoot him questions and he'll give you answers. I mean, he can tell you what he likes, what he don't like. Like if you, and non-sponsor people for sure. Because the thing too, like here's my thing. There are so many people online that have sponsors with all these companies, and at the end of the day, you take it for a grain of sand, grain of salt. What you want to take on their opinion. When people are sponsored, they're sponsored to give. Very few people give you negatives on products that are sponsored by them. It's just a simple fact because that's how they get their income. That's how they got their product. Some of the companies will let you speak freely, but it's kind of few and far between. And like a good example, Ryanet will let Lee speak free on some of the stuff, but a lot of the stuff he doesn't go too far off on it anyways. If you talk to people that's bought it out of their own pocket, paid for it, they're going to give you a more honest opinion. And like the printout says, he's not selling it for them. He's just being honest. Like he bought them other printers, the cutters, bought them out of his own pocket. So the difference is he don't have to have brand loyalty. If he didn't like something, he can be like, it's junk. And that's the thing. It's like when I bought that stuff, that's like good example. Like the print house says, fire print. Whatchamacallit, Daniel or Danny, whatever, keeps pushing it in his videos. And here's the thing. And he says, hey, I'm sponsored by him. I did a video the other day. I gave you 4 or 5 companies where to get things printed at. I don't get a kickback from any of them. I showed you some of the pricing on there. And the thing is Fire Sprint or whatever it is way overpriced. It's not effective. Yeah, it's fine. It's kind of like the supercolor theory. Can you print make money with super? You can make money with anything as long as you have a sucker that's going to buy it from you. But at the end of the day, you've got to factor it in. So like when he did a thing on supercolor, he was like front, back, and sleeve. That's 3 locations. They don't let you gang a print. If you can't gang prints, you're buying fees on every single one of them. You are looking at $10 for that service, front, back, and sleeve to print that. That's not including the shirt. So now you've got 10 to 15 bucks at low end in a shirt out of your pocket. You got to charge 20 bucks for that shirt to be profitable for the time you've pressed it and the time to set everything up and the time that you had to send the file out and get it back. Can you sell a shirt at 20 bucks? Sure. People do all the time. They're called clothing brands. Nike, Adidas. Yeah, they do that. The general population doesn't normally get that. Can you, though, find people that will pay that? Yeah. So the thing with that is like some of these people go after like the Fire Sprint. Is there money in there? Yeah, you can make money on it. I pulled it up and like it was like $60 for magnetic sign when you do like only buy one. Well, the problem is like you can go to Vista Print, which is massively marketed, and they're not cheap at all really compared to some of the other ones, but it's one that like Vista Print's fine for business cards, but Vista Print's magnets are cheaper than that place. So it's like one of the things is like that you don't even need a license to go to Vista Print. Anyone can go there. The other one, you got to use a thing. So it's kind of, yeah, you're absolutely right with what you're talking about. But at the same time, how is it fair that we printers are busting our behinds to create artwork and print, and they won't buy a $3 print? The person that's pressing it and reselling it at $15 to $30 a shirt. So why cut the legs off the printer? Why not a 40-50 split or 50-50 split or something like that? What do you feel about that? Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that's the point, and that is why, like, if you go check out TKO, I do print. I'm not telling you to buy transfers from me, but that's why I tell people, like, I did videos on how a super color was made with the laser printer, how the speed goes. Yeah, I like 4 over. Yeah, 4 over is one I use a lot, and I tell people to go to also to print out. And like JC, go watch that video. I give links to free vendors that anyone can buy. And the thing is like there's no problem with like doing a split. What happens though? What that other guy was doing, JC, is that markup. He wasn't like a commercial printer. What it was is he was buying transfers and then he was adding his markup just like us printers do. We add our costs and all that of what we charge per shirts, of locations and prints and colors. And but the thing is, when you got to factor a transfer, let's say this transfer here, if I got $8 in this transfer, and that's how much a super color full sheet is, one is if I got 2 of them, that's $16 now, and then a sleeve, even if it was $3, that's $19 in a print. There's no money to really be made, because if you double that, then you're at $40 to double your money. Where if I screen printed it, like especially that being one color, I mean, I could screen print. I got my screen set up, so it's $5 a screen. That's 3 location. That's $15. But I could also gang my screen and put a left sleeve on it or front and back, depending what it is. So there are ways to adjust the pricing if you're doing it yourself. When you buy like a transfer, you're locked in. So if you're doing a one color transfer, like that, let's say right there, I would go with the 15-cent transfer like the other ones. You can still make money. I've done videos on telling people you can make money in this industry without having equipment by subbing it out. Like the print house says, 4 over. You can go to 4 over. You can go to, I don't have them in front of me. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button trying to pull up the thing for you. You can go to 4 over. You can go to a print co sign 365. You could even go to the print house. He will print for you, stuff for you. And so the thing is you can go to all these people and then you just tack a little on. And that's what I've told people a lot. Starting out, let's say you want some banners and you don't have a large format solvent printer, latex printer, call the print house. Call NovaWorks. Like the print house would do banners for you. So you could easily say, hey, man, here's what I need. Send him a thing. He'll give you a quote. Now, here's the thing. Let's say he was the super color of the pricing. He was too high. Use one of the other ones. You have that opportunity to do that. But if you want to use him, he's good pricing for you. Do that. Add a few bucks onto it. You're making money. You didn't touch a product. That's the easiest way. So if you're becoming the middleman on it, where you're just moving between the supplier and the customer, and you're the middleman now, there's still money in that area. It happens all the time. Like when people own print shops or screen printing shops, like a good example, and I'm going to probably mess this up. The print house, he uses the one transfers, and I think he's got a one color press, don't you? Or 4 station, it's like the blue press, right? The print house, if I'm not mistaken. So if he needed like a 6 color or 6 color image, and he didn't want to run it on the solvent printer, what he could do is contact a local shop and say, hey, what's your contract pricing? And do that. And that happens all the time, people that do that. The other thing too, if let's say you're doing manual printing, manual screen printing, and someone comes in with 1,000 shirt order, you're not going to want to manual print 1,000 shirts. You can do that. You're going to be there a week plus. You'd be better just to find a shop that will give you contract pricing, have them print them for you. You go pick it up. And so you get your foot in the door. Like a good example, like I started out screen printing before I got my other equipment. Someone comes to me and like, hey, I need some stickers. If I didn't have a sticker machine, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to one of these online places. I'm going to call the print house. I'm going to be like, hey, I need some stickers. What's the best you can do on it? Can you got contract pricing? I own a shop. I'm just trying to fill an order. But a lot of things I never turned customers away when I first started on anything they needed. If they needed hats embroidered and I didn't have an embroidery machine, I had people that I used to embroider. So I would use them, and I might only make 50 cents or $1 on that product. I didn't lose that customer. I kept that customer. I retained them. And then eventually you get the equipment so you can build up with it. And like I said, the profit margins are just depending on how good you find the supply chain that you like at the good pricing. Like if you find someone, let's say the print house is doing stickers for you at $0.25, everywhere else online selling stickers 50 cents, you're doubling your money and all you're doing is sending a file his way. So to double your money, 50 cents on every sticker, let's say, and all you're doing is just sending it to him. And let's average person's ordering 100 stickers. So now you just made $50 on that batch for just hitting send on an email. So you want it like, and not all of them are going to be like that. It might only be $20. But the thing is like I've always said, pennies make dollars. And so when you look at the industry and you can keep adding the pennies up, it will all add up. And like I said, it all adds up. Good example. In Michigan, these are 10 cents. It doesn't say because it's not returnable in this state. But here we have scrap value. The scrap value is about a penny. Okay, guys, sorry the internet dropped, but I'm gonna hop off here after this. But what I was saying is, it all adds up. You're paying the fee on this, but everything adds up. That's like shirt screen printing. You don't get $100 per shirt to print it. You're making a few bucks here and there. Sometimes on big jobs, that price that you're making on them shirts, you're talking change, less than $1. But on that order that you're doing, that order could be let's say 1,000 shirts, 2,000 shirts. So it does add up. It all adds up in the end. So, like I said, don't get discouraged if you're not making insane amounts of profits on it. Always keep the jobs flowing, keep them coming in, because that's how it all adds up at the end. You can sell one thing and make $1 million, or you can sell a million things at $1 and make $1 million. At the end, you made $1 million. They're both the same. So that's the way to look at things. And just keep driving forward on that. Thanks again, guys, for watching tonight. Sorry for the internet thing. It's messing up. Thanks again, guys. Glad everyone stopped in. Hopefully I see you guys next week. And if you guys have any other questions, let me know. Try to answer them, and I'll get in touch with you guys again soon. Thanks again, guys. Waldo, I'm out.